Hey friend, welcome to my podcast, The Fit Soul. I'm your host, Amy Ramsey. In this podcast, we will be discussing soul-filled strategies to unleash your confidence, increase your energy, and all the things healthy lifestyle. If you're a Christian woman who is ready to reach your God-given potential, walk worthy of your calling with abundant joy and energy, girlfriend, you are in the right spot. I mean, you only have one life to live. You might as well maximize it. Buckle in, and thanks for listening.
Happy March. Oh, I love the first day of a month. I love the first day of the week. I love a fresh start. I love being able to look at the previous month and think, okay, how did that month go? Did I do what I wanted to do? Did I show up as I wanted to show up? Am I closer to my goals than I wanted to be? Did I actually make progress moving forward? There's been so many times in my life where I really had good intentions and I had goals that I wanted to accomplish. But year after year, I wasn't accomplishing them. Maybe you can relate. There's one goal in particular that I struggle with year after year after year. And oh my gosh, I have great intentions. And each year, I'm really going to do it. I'm going to tell you what that goal is because I finally am making progress in this area. And I want to share with you those steps that I'm doing, but I want you to think about in your own life. What is it that you're like year after year after year, and you really want it? You really want this thing. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's getting down to a healthy weight. Maybe it's becoming more physically fit and active. And like, man, you really want it. Like you want to stay active, you want to look good for you, but you also want more energy. And if you exercise and eat right, dadgummit, you'll have more energy. And you really, 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 you're serious. You absolutely want it. In fact, maybe you even start, but then you were like me on my goal that I haven't been so successful at. Start, stop. Maybe it's emotionally. You want to show up and not yell at your kids or not yell at your spouse or be more kind, or quit gossiping or stop spending so much money. Maybe it's being more present in your life and getting off of technology and social media. And it's like, man, you're just not having success. Okay, so let me share with you the thing that I really struggled with for such a long time. And that's been, each year I have a goal of knowing my numbers better in my business. As an entrepreneur, it's a very important skill set to have to know your numbers, your data. It's very important. And tax season rolls around. You got to turn in numbers. When you are making decisions of investments to make or products to buy or incorporating different things, you kind of need to know your numbers. And it feels overwhelming for so many years. It's just really felt overwhelming. And this year, after having the same goal year after year after year after year, and not making progress in it, this year I decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to do things differently. For me to know my numbers, I can't just want it. That's a wish. How am I going to actually develop? How am I going to set aside time so I can know the numbers? And then how am I going to develop the skill sets that I need to become more, to increase my capacity on this and become more competent with my numbers? Because that's actually what I want. I actually want to be competent, even though I don't enjoy, quote unquote, numbers. I want you to fill in the blank for your life. What about you? What is it that in your life, you know you want this area of change? It could be in your relationships, it can be in your finances, it can be in your health, it can be in your spiritual life, and you aren't seemingly making that change. The problem is there's always emotional components to it. There's always that just human behavior of we are used to certain ways, and any level of change is a struggle. Any level of change is hard. And we have to identify the areas that we want growth. So I want you to identify the areas that you want growth. It's a fresh month. Now's the perfect time to set aside growth areas. And this is what we do in Walk-Worthy Mentorship. We take our 3 areas. Spiritual growth, that's the number one. How can you grow spiritually? What does that look like? Getting in His Word, that's the number one thing. Intimacy with Christ, praying, spending time alone in silence and solitude, cultivating that area of growth. What does that look like? I know for me, last year, I was starting to walk into a season that was going to be hard. Had some things going on that are battles that are going to be and are very difficult. And so in this idea of planning, like I'm sharing with you now, I started to look at where I was, and I started to feel a lot of anxiety. It was waking me up in the middle of the night, and worry and stress. And I had a conversation with myself. I was like, okay, this is real. This fear is real. This anxiety is real. And I know the source. And so for me, spiritually, I knew that going into this season that I was heading into was going to require a deeper reliance upon the Lord. It was going to require a deeper faith. It was going to require more trust. It was new territory for me. And I've never quite been through a season like this. And I knew that for me to go through this season, I made some decisions then. I decided, okay, you know what, Lord? I want to honor you in this season. I want to honor you through this. You're going to show me some things in this time. And I want to honor you. And I want you to help me battle joyfully, because you tell me in your word that peace is from you and that joy, I can have full joy no matter my circumstances. So this is an opportunity. And I knew I needed to up-level my time with the Lord, my prayer life. I needed to up-level that to get to that next level. So that for me meant more time with the Lord. And that became my goal. It's like, okay, so my goal here, I'm going to share with you spiritually, that spiritual goal was to be a joyful warrior, to battle joyfully, to choose joy, and to remain peaceful during this. That has not been easy, but man, it's been rewarding, and the Lord's showing me so much. But that became my goal. And then I like to break down, what is that So we're made of spirit, soul, and body. So our soul is going to include our emotions. It's going to include our mindsets. And so you can look at that as what in my emotional life or my mindsets need to be up-leveled. What does that look like? And how can you maybe have a goal for this month to reinforce that, to create more resilience, to generate the emotions that you want to generate and live that life of the inside out living instead of allowing your emotions to rule you. There's so much power. There's so much power when you learn how to do this. And you can. It's a process. But that growth piece of this is really important. So how are you going to grow? How are you going to develop this resiliency? I know the faith texts help. The activation text that you get in the mornings, listen to them. I also know in the faith activation text, my Walkworthy mentorship, this is where I coach them every single morning. They get a message like this, similar to this, every morning. I've learned that for me, I've done different things in different seasons. I might say, okay, you know what? I'm going to listen to a podcast like on mindset stuff, and I'm going to listen to one every day. Or what I actually find a little more success with is if I can't read a book, then to do an audible. Okay, well, I'm going to listen to this every day and just like really infuse my mind with these things. That's been helpful. Right now, I'm in a season of I want to read again. And so another goal I have for the year is to read at least a book a month. At least one book a month. I miss reading when I don't read, and I love to read. And I find that I don't get to it unless I have it as a goal, and me having it as a goal has been incredibly helpful. So right now I'm reading Christian books on resilience, and so it reinforces that spiritual component, but really it's also infusing so much life, and it's helping me grow more resilience. And then pick a physical, something for your body. What is it? Where are you neglecting it? Something that you don't currently have. What are you not currently doing and you know you need to? Break it down into small pieces. So for me right now, one of the things that in my physical is I'm really trying to optimize my nutrition. And the way I'm personally doing that right now is counting my macros, and I've got my numbers. I do functional labs and various specifics, but you know what? Counting macros is not fun. Nobody likes to do that. And that's taking discipline on my end. And I've got to tell you, last month I didn't do so great on that. And I'm going to keep it as my goal this month for March is to count those macros at least 4 days a week. That's mine. Maybe for you, it's you want to incorporate strength training into your, twice a week. And so take the data, take a look at it and do that. Maybe for you, you want to just get started with moving. So you go for a walk every day. That's your non-negotiable. But pick something to improve your health, your physical health for the month of March. That makes sense. Like, obviously, not to go run a marathon if you've not run, you haven't run in like 25 years. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous goal. And they feel frustrating when we don't achieve the goals. So I want you to get real specific about what you can do. And in my mentorship, we break it down week by week after that. But your growth action plan should be something that is a benefit to the integrative person of who you are, your spirit, your mind, and your body. And for you, up-leveling and becoming the more vibrant, thriving version of yourself. This will help you break bad habits. This will help give you focus and clarity, increase your productivity. It's powerful. We're doing this together as a group in my Walkworthy mentorship, and we're taking some new members on, so you can message me, let me know. But I'm going to I have a gift for you this month, and it's a growth action plan. I would love for you to take some time and fill this out. This is so powerful for you to move forward. And of course, if you want my help, I got you. But I hope this is helpful. Let's go. Let's create that March momentum. Let's get into action, inspired action, aligned action with the best of who you are. Oh my gosh. Let's get excited. Hey, let's get fired up about this month. Let's walk with excellence. Let's walk with purpose. Let's walk with intention. I said these new Friday podcasts are going to be less than 10 minutes. So I went a little longer today, but I hope it was helpful. Let me know what you think. I'm cheering you on. I will see you. I'll be back Tuesday.
Girlfriend, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm so honored you come back every week and that you share the Fit Soul podcast with your friends and family. Every time you share my podcast on Instagram or Facebook, I do a little happy dance. Make sure you subscribe to the Fit Soul podcast where you'll never miss an episode. You can go to Podcast, Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify and subscribe so you'll never miss an episode release. And just know, I truly love bringing you excellent content and great guests to provide you motivation and faith inspiration to help you walk worthy. And one of the ways you can help me is to go and leave the Fit Soul podcast a review. If you have just a moment, would you please go over and leave a review for the Fit Soul podcast? Thank you again. I love you. And here is your reminder. You are worthy. Until next time. Bye-bye.